So in this video, I'll show you how you can create the best site layout in just 5 minutes. First, we will learn about the 3 main design principles. Second, we will review few websites to create a list of do's and don'ts. And in the end, we will see how you can create a blueprint for the best layout for your website. Now, website design has these 3 design principles: hierarchy, negative space, and color. So what's hierarchy? Basically, whenever someone visits a website, they decide within the first 3-4 seconds whether they want to stay or never visit it back. A good hierarchy of elements makes sure that a visitor can easily find what they need without any uncertainty. For example, this website has a lot of text of different sizes, colors, and fonts that make it look very cluttered. The call to action here has this weird color and this picture that reduces its visibility. So everything is fighting for attention here. In comparison, let's look at this website. The fonts are of the same family, there's a clear color palette, and the call to action is in front and center here. The information is broken into distinct sections, so it's easy to navigate, and this is what good hierarchy looks like. Awesome, I think we have a basic idea about the layout, so I'll quickly make a few wireframes for some website elements by following the same guidelines. The first few frames are going to be quite basic, with elements like images, text, and headers. I'll also quickly make a few more elements like this button and a website menu like this. Now, I'll follow the hierarchy rule and come up with a layout. I'll first make the hero section here using the images and text wireframe, and then add the CTA button right below that. Okay, now let's add an image gallery like this. You can also add a smaller gallery to act as a testimonial for your website, and then include these other wireframes like this. Alright, this looks like a great starting point, but we are still missing a few things. A crucial part of good design is the correct use of empty space, and also our next principle. So, this is an NGO site, and the hero section is a big banner with one line in the center and a picture that fills it. My eyes are immediately drawn to the picture and then to the text. As we scroll through the page, each section is surrounded by white space, and there's not even a line dividing each section. The white or negative space and minimal information makes the section look distinct and unique. Even the call to action section at the bottom has a margin of negative space around the text, so you can focus on the center. This is a really good example of how we can draw focus by using white or negative space. But let's also see how detrimental it can be to ignore it. Here's a news website that we are going to look at. There's so much to read, and these headings here are just barely spaced apart. It's information dense with no negative space and no focus point. Honestly, this is quite overwhelming for a first-time visitor since it's difficult to navigate through and absorb any useful information. This shows us how important it is to maintain a fine balance between the content and negative space. Now, let's see how we can create negative space in our wireframe design. Right now, we don't have any spacing between the different sections and it looks quite cramped. So, let's add a bit of padding of around 50 pixels between all elements like this and slightly space out the different frames. Okay, now let's add a menu bar to the top of the page and make sure it's well spaced too. Next, the third most important factor is color. It might seem a bit trivial to you, but it's crucial to pick colors that don't clash or obscure things on your website. This website uses a gold theme in the hero section, and the gold clashes with the background, making it a bit dull. If I scroll down, this section has a light picture, and the white text isn't easy to read. A different color would have worked better here, like the gold they used earlier. A foolproof way to use colors that's tried and tested is the 60-30-10 rule. Pick 3 colors and use them in these proportions: 60% dominant color, 30% secondary color, and 10% accent color. You can see how the Verge has used it on their site, with black being the primary, white the secondary, and fluorescent blue the accent. They even threw in a little purple for shadows. Clearly, you aren't limited to 3 as long as it doesn't stray too much like the first site we saw. The idea here is to just make the sections visually distinct. You don't need to have a different background style for each row, but as long as they are visually distinct and look separate in some way, then that's all you need. So let's incorporate this in our wireframing as well. I'll change the main theme color like this. You can also use an image as the background of the total frame and then incorporate some text like this. Other than that, my secondary color is going to be something dull like gray. And finally, I'll use this bright orange to make sure my CTAs and other important elements pop up. And we are all done. This basic wireframe layout looks quite promising and you can create something similar in just a few minutes. Comment below if you have any questions and I'll help you out. Click this video if you want to triple your site speed in just 1 minute. You're really gonna thank me for this, so click here and I'll see you there.